How to choose the ripest fruit possible. Firstly, of course, we take a look at the color. And if you see redness on apple, it's not necessarily means that it's fully ripe. I would rather look at the yellowness. Yeah, this is also a very red apple, but if you look at these other parts, it's a little greenish. So this one is a little bit more yellow, but the more yellow is the yellow part of the apple skin, the riper it will be. Then the next thing that you can do is, of course, smell it. And our taste buds are connected to our smell. So a lot of the smell comes to our taste buds. So we can actually taste the sweetness or the sourness when we smell. It's pretty sweet. It's not super sweet, but you just need to experiment yourself and smell different ones, and then later you will try them and you'll see how precise your smell was. Then the next thing that you can do is you can gently squish it. And the ripe apple will, in most cases, have a little give. Not always, and of course you might be worried that you're smushing the apple, but if it's so hard that it's unripe, then it will not have any give and you will not really smush it. But if you will smush it, then just take it because then it means that it's pretty okay, it's pretty ripe. Orange is the same thing. They're much softer when they ripe. They have a give. You can smell. Sometimes they don't smell much. Organic ones will smell more. This one smells more, and it's softer. It's harder. It's a little harder to tell the sweetness. But the more aromatic they are, the riper and the more nutritious they will be and tastier. But the color, again, you can see that this orange has a lot of like greeniness or not so bright orange on it, and this one is much more darker color. The darker color is the riper. And avocados, of course, the same thing. I mean, they don't have so much smell, but the softness is how you can tell how ripe avocado is. So just gently take it like in your hand, like fully, and just so not to create a dent, but like this, and just very gently like squish it, just very gently. Of course, if you're on a farmer's market, you can go like this. Is considered to be acceptable if you just touch it like this. And it needs to be soft. It needs to be pretty soft. It also depends on variety of avocados. The ones with the thicker skin will not be as soft, but if you squish them a little harder, then you'll feel the softness underneath. But with a thin skin, you can just barely touch them like this, and you'll feel the softness. It needs to be like your cheek. Pears also, they have a little redness sometimes, but you need to look at this color of the yellowish or greenish color. The greener it is, the less ripe they are, and the more bright yellow, the sweeter. And the riper also, they need to have a little give. But if fruit is too soft, like totally squishy, it might be bad already. And now bananas. Sometimes when they have dots already, and dots, I think they might not appear in tropical countries. They might not even come when banana is ripe. But if you take banana like this, and you see that they're not falling off, even if they have some little dots, they're not ripe, they're not ready to eat. And you can take another batch and you can see a little more dots on here and see what happens. Yeah, 2 fell off. The biggest thing is your own experience. You can pay attention to the color, the softness, the smell, and buy this fruit and try it, and then you will start seeing the correlation between how soft it is, how colorful it is, and the smell and the ripeness. And the fruit shouldn't be sour, really. It can be slightly acidic, but it needs to be sweet. A sweet fruit needs to be sweet. And if you eat fruit unripe, then it is most likely to hurt your intestines, to irritate them, because fruit is not ready to eat, and it has this protective substances in there, and it's just not good to eat at that time. But if you find a super sweet, super ripe fruit, it's such a beautiful nourishment. It's the best source of energy for our bodies that there is. But of course we need to remember that we need to also have greens in our diet. It's not only fruit. I don't recommend only fruit diet. It's too restrictive. We just cannot get enough minerals from fruit only, at least in our modern time with supermarket food. It's just not possible. But if we add some greens to our fruit and a little bit of nuts and seeds, some non-sweet fruit, we can be thriving on this lifestyle.